Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today I am going to do a Q&A style podcast. They are my favorite. If you're new around here, I absolutely love doing Q&A podcasts because it tells me exactly the kind of content you're needing, wanting, the questions that have come up. And so I love recording these podcasts. This episode is all about the questions that I have received about the Earl May DIY dynamic design that I shared. I shared it here on the podcast, and I'm going to link in the show notes the link to my blog post that I did about it as well. And then there is a full video kind of sharing it as well. So that's all inside the post. So if you click that one link, you'll be able to find all of the information. But a little backstory, I did not even know this existed. And even if you are not in the Midwest, if you have a nursery, a garden center in your area, you should definitely reach out and see if they offer something like this, because it was a game changer. And it's something, again, that I think everybody needs to know about and should take advantage of if it is offered in your area. But if you are in the Midwest and you have an Earl May near you or within driving distance, definitely check out this service. So basically what it is you go in, you schedule an appointment. It's $200 for the appointment, but actually then after you're done with the appointment and they help you with your, design, you just use that $200 and you can use it to buy the plants that you talked about or that you choose. So it's basically free. You're getting the free professional landscaping plant advice that they're going to give you, and then you can just turn around and then buy the plants that you choose. It doesn't matter your budget. You tell them your budget, they will work within that and then help you out. So again, check the show notes for the link to the blog post. It goes into more detail about how this works. Super easy, super fun. Matt and I both enjoyed it so much, and I'm super excited that I got some questions to answer because you guys are interested in it too. And again, if you do not have an Earl May, that's okay. Check your local garden centers and see if they offer something like this. Who knows? Maybe they'll like your idea and start something like this. I think it's so amazing. Let's just start with the questions. How did the DIY dynamic design make your front yard look different? What was the biggest change? Well, we used it on the investment property that we're working on now. And when we bought that investment property, again, you can look on my blog and you will see the befores of the house, and then the after. So when we bought it, it had not been touched since the 60s, and all of the front of the house was it was planked with two overgrown trees on the edge of the house, the left and the right. And then it had these overgrown, horrible bushes that literally almost went to the middle of the yard. They had never been, cut. They have never been trimmed. And so getting those out alone made a big difference. And Matt and I thought, we'll just do, a couple of plants here and a couple of plants there. No. Tracy helped us not even think outside the box. Think of things we wouldn't even have thought about. The entire front of that house, everybody that had come to the house before, as soon as we got it, and then after, just with that front landscaping change, said the entire house looked totally different. So with what she did, it was a huge transformation, obviously from what it was, but she made us think of plants and trees and bushes and things that we never would have thought of. So the biggest change was just the overall look. It's just clean, it's fresh, I say modern because this house has really been stuck since it's been built. So it's so much better. And there's colors, and she talked to us about the different colors that would pop up throughout the year. It just so good. Did you notice any instant curb appeal improvements right after implementing the design? As soon as the plants were in the holes we dug, instant change, instant curb appeal. Like I said, people were driving by not recognizing the house. We had one contractor come that drove right by the house because he didn't recognize it. So that tells you, yes, instantly. Yes. Were there any plants or features you didn't expect to include, but the design recommended? Yes. Oh my gosh. Two that stick out to me right away, where we would have just filled this one area with more bushes just because it's like, well, that's simple. Just put them in there. She's like, don't do that. She actually said to go get 3 concrete like walking pads to put right in front of the house. And I'm like, what? But it makes sense. It totally makes sense. And then she also recommended a potted plant at the front door because we took in a photo of the place and then we took in measurements and everything. And as she was talking to us about the different things, she said, now look at this spot right here. It's going to be empty. So if you put in a potted plant, which it was genius, it literally like rounded out the whole area. So those were 2 things we never would have thought about. Was it easy to follow the plan yourself, or did you need extra guidance from Earl May staff? It's amazing. So they take like your drawing and she kind of drew on it, told us exactly as she pulled the plants. She pulls the plants in an area where you can actually see how they'll look kind of lined up as they are. So you get to get a visual there at the store. And then she writes all that down on your drawing that you took in and says like, put the rose bush here, put the other bush here. Like she had it all written down. I didn't need any extra help. It was amazing, and it was so easy to follow. Did using the DIY dynamic design save you time compared to planning it on your own? I laughed with Matt because I said, Matt, if you and I were to stand at just any garden center and try to pick out plants and make decisions for this entire front of this house, do you know how long that would have taken us? Our appointment was under an hour. I got to talking, of course, so that made it longer. But literally, you go in with your budget, your kind of needs and wants, your measurement, your pictures, and then literally Tracy just took off. And she's like, okay, so this is what you should do. They know exactly what your yard and landscape needs. So it was so quick. I'll tell you this right now, Matt and I would not have made decisions like that in under an hour. Never, never, never. Saved us so much time. And we are learning with every project that we do like this, time is money. Time is money. Remember that. You cannot get time back. You can make more money. You cannot get time back. I'm taking a quick break from the episode to share some exciting news with you. If you have ever wanted to flip furniture for extra cash, a creative outlet, or to build a business but didn't know where to start, there's never been a better time. My Furniture Flipping Academy is now just $79, which is over $200 off the original price. Inside, you'll learn how to find amazing pieces on a budget or for free, how to transform them step by step, sanding, painting, staging, all the things, how to price and sell for real profit, and even know how to work with brands to grow your flipping business in more ways than you know. And that's just the start. There is so much more waiting for you inside the Academy. We have so much packed inside the Academy. It's completely self-paced. Once you buy it, it's yours for life. There are no deadlines. There's no pressure. We do have a sneak peek inside the link in the show notes. It will give you a glimpse inside the Academy. And here's the truth. Nothing changes unless you do. You can keep waiting for the right time, or you can take this step now. At $79, the price isn't holding you back anymore. So stop hesitating. Stop making excuses. Click the link and get started today. So this one kind of goes with the next one, or with the previous one. Were there any parts of the plan that surprised you, like the plant placement or layering ideas? One thing that did surprise me was she said, okay, so we're going to start with your focal point. So to me, I'm like, okay, so that's going to be right in the middle. So what do I want right in the middle? And she's like, no, your focal point is way over here to the left for our design and what we needed. I was like, wait, what? And then as she explained it, I'm like, yes, it is. That makes total sense. Like, yes, it is. And then she added like some of the plants that she like put together, never would have because I didn't know. I don't know what I don't know. And so, yes, there were a lot of things that surprised us, and so much of it that we learned that we should be doing or shouldn't be doing, and things that we can take with us forever now or use in our own yard. The time spent with her was so good. How beginner friendly did you find the process for someone who's not a gardener? It is beginner friendly. Like they tone it down, and you kind of tell them that, like, listen, I don't want anything that's super high maintenance, or I'm just new to, having a yard to take care of, or landscaping, or like tell them exactly what your skill level is. Like all of that should go into, you should tell them all of those things so that they give you exactly what you want. But literally so easy. We knew exactly the plants we were taking home and where they went from the picture and where she wrote things. So beginner friendly. Did you end up making any changes to the plan, or did you follow it exactly as recommended? We followed it exactly. We did not make any changes to any of the plan. We loved it and it looked so amazing. So we didn't change anything. If someone wanted to do this themselves, what's the one tip you'd give before starting? So to be completely honest here, so what you can do, you can go sit and try and figure out what are the best plants for your area, the size you have and everything. But then here's the thing that I love, like, you also need to know what these plants, trees, bushes, whatever, are going to do in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, like down the road. What are these plants going to do? Because if you plant the wrong things, and end up with a massive tree, growing roots at the base of your house, like that's not good, right? You can do this yourself, but this service makes it so easy, and you're going to get it exactly right the first time. Like, just go spend the $200 and then get all the knowledge. And then if you want to go around and try and find plants, at Lowe's or Home Depot, you can go do that. Or you just use that $200 and then turn right around and put it in the plants that are right there at Earl May that they have just, picked out for you. And they're sitting right there, and their plants are so good. Like, they're really, really good. So you could definitely try and do it yourself, but I would highly recommend the service. Oh, yes. Would you do another project like this for a different area of the house, or recommend it to friends? Yes. So we didn't need to do it in any other area of this house that we're working on. But yes, if we have another, big project kind of like that, where we are tearing out big trees and huge bushes, and like, yes, we've got a big area that is just overwhelming. Heck yes. And have I recommended this to friends and family? Yes. I think, and that's why I'm so excited to share it. I've shared it on my social channels, Instagram, Facebook, and all that. I've shared it on YouTube. I've shared it on the website. And now I'm doing a second podcast about it. Like, yes, I would recommend this to anybody. How do you feel about the value? Was it worth the cost for the design service? Yes, because you flip that money and it goes right back into your plants. And they will work within your budget. You don't have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars for landscaping to go and use this service. Not at all. You tell them the budget you're working with, they will work within that to get you the best design and the best plants for your space. So the value is great. The value for the service to go get all the knowledge and everything you're going to learn in under an hour is worth the $200 if you're not going to buy any plants. Yes, 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 and yes. But get the plants. Put that $200 right into some of the plants that you're going to be putting into your yard. Why wouldn't you do that? It's free then, and it's a win-win. Did the design inspire any creative ideas that you hadn't thought of before? I think, it did kind of teach us, you definitely should have these plants under this tree, which we never would have done. Not necessarily creative, but more like the tips and tricks she shared during our meeting. That we had never thought about it before, never knew you could do, like from simple things on how to, plant in a pot, the things she was telling us to use, it like as fillers in the bottom of the pot. And I think I shared that in the previous podcast, but just things like that where we're like, what? You can do that? We had no idea. And those are the kinds of things that I said to Matt when we were leaving. He was so excited about this. He loves to do landscaping and yard work and all of that kind of stuff. And so for him to say like 5 times, everybody needs to know about this, that's a big deal. If you know Matt, that's a big deal. But I said to Matt, not only did we, come away with an amazing design, but the things that we learned in under an hour with just talking with her, they're priceless. Like they're things that we are going to use for years and years and years when we are planting like our own yards, or if we do have another project where we're doing a lot of yard work, another house that we have. So yes, it just taught us so much. That whole experience taught us so much. So those were the main, when I do these Q&As, I like to kind of group together questions that are asked. Those are the main things that were asked, which I thought they were really, really good questions. It just kind of made me dive in a little bit more detail, or a lot of questions about like, was this worth it? What, would you recommend this to your family and friends? Yes. But that's why I love these Q&A podcasts. I literally could do these once a week. Like every Monday we're doing a Q&A on something, some topic. That would be so much fun for me because it tells me exactly what I need to be recording. So that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed this podcast and found it helpful, I'd love if you could take just a minute to rate and review it. No matter where you're listening, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else, your support truly helps. It not only helps more people find the show, but it also lets me know what kind of content you're loving. So if you have a second, tap those stars, leave a quick review, and know that I appreciate every single one of them. Thanks for being here, and I'll talk to you next time. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.